Bradley and I.
Yeah, just a little bit. That was fun. I love talking. OSU football, and I haven't in a while. But I guess we should get into it. So this is first ever videoed podcast of the workshop. We'll also don't worry. We'll also release the audio version on anywhere you can listen to podcasts, whether that be iTunes, Spotify, and any of the small platforms out there as well. But we're going to post a live video on YouTube. So this is what we look like if you're not one of our friends or grandparents who listen to
shout out to my mom.
Workshop. Shout out Matt's mom. But hey, man, let's jump right in. We've been talking the audio version. You'll get a little bit extra. We talked about OSU football, but we might as well jump right into it as we're videoing here. And let's jump to our thing of the day, okay? And I've been thinking about this a lot because a couple days ago, I guess it was Sunday, I was going through my order at Walmart. So I go pick it up, the grocery pickup, and I wanted like a can of nuts. Okay, yeah. I wanted hot nuts, the hot peanuts, but they didn't have it in like a big can. So I got this can that I have right now. So I want to know, Matt, what is the nut of the day?
I love me Smokehouse almonds.
Smokehouse almonds, okay. I don't know if I've ever had those.
But also, it's a toss-up between those and the wasabi ones. Because the wasabi ones are very good. So if I get either of those and go to Walmart, get the... I'm trying to think of what the... I know what the bag looks like, but it's like Smokehouse almonds. And so...
Are they smoky flavored at all?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
So it tastes like almonds that have been smoked like a barbecue. They're so good.
Dude, that sounds
awesome.
awesome.
A lot of salt, a lot of sodium. They're actually really good for you. I know I just said there's
salty and sodium, but no, I believe it.
They're actually good for you. They're just like a good light snack.
Man,
and my favorite, though, I would say those two are like in the top. Mm. But my favorite is just honey roasted peanuts.
Yeah, I like honey roasted peanuts. So I like those honey roasted peanuts. The one next to them, the hot ones.
Yeah.
I like those for like a quick snack. But pistachios are probably my favorite nut. I like pistachios. I like the ones that are still within the shell and outside the shell where you just take them down. But the shell and working for it is so good. But it's also kind of like a lot of pickup. It's like a lot of cleanup for not a lot of
reward
of nuttage.
That's like a walnut.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
very little, and you have to.
I used to think I was allergic to almonds. Every time I'd eat almonds, I'd get heartburn and acid reflux. But I think it's just because there's a ton of salt when they make. But almonds are good. They're so crunchy and good.
That's what I think is the best part about them is they're crunchy. Yeah. So if I'm going like outside the box flavor, I'm going almonds. But if I'm going like, I'm gonna sit down and just eat nuts for a while. You can't go wrong with honey roasted peanuts.
Do we throw in like seeds in this too?
You said when you started saying pistachios, I was thinking sunflower
kind of
seeds.
Like seeds. Same. So bonus, what's your favorite sunflower seed flavor and brand? Because they matter.
They do.
Brand and flavor come hand in hand.
I am a big fan of the hot and spicy jalapeno David.
David's
sunflower seeds, very good.
Those ones.
But I also like Big E's sizzling bacon. Whichever one I see first is usually what I pick up at the store. So the bacon one, very good, but the
bacon one's good.
Sweet spicy jalapeno ones are just
incredible as well. See, dude, I'm just a fan of all sunflower seeds, but my favorite are the Spitz.
Spitz, yeah.
Dill pickle. Okay.
Dill pickle is the only dill pickle that
Here's the thing. No one that's a fan of sunflower seeds will be like, yeah, Spitz is my go-to. It's my go-to. The seeds they're a little bit harder, and the flavor is surreal. It's like they painted the flavor on each seed.
Because I think they do a wet seasoning instead of a dry
good,
seasoning.
And so that's why I like David's though too, because it is dry.
Yeah.
And the barbecue David's, oh man,
Classics.
but the classic
Originals.
Salty is you can't go wrong. And so let me ask you this though, it's October.
Yep.
A couple weeks will be Halloween. What's your take on pumpkin seeds?
Pumpkin seeds. I think David's does a pumpkin seed.
Oh, they do. I forgot about that. They do.
I've never really like. I mean, I've had them.
Yeah.
But they're not memorable. So like, I can't be like, oh, they're really good because I had them one time. But
Right.
I remember having them, and obviously I'm like, like I don't actually remember what the flavor is. I love pumpkin everything though.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
like pumpkin muffins,
too.
pumpkin bread, pumpkin pie is my all-time favorite thing in the entire world. That's what if you try to give me sweet potato pie instead of pumpkin pie. I'll give you hands. I'll start fighting.
Yeah, there's nothing that you have to.
I have an aunt. Hopefully she's not watching this, but she knows. She knows who she is. She'll try to give me sweet potato pie.
Goodness gracious!
She passes it off as pumpkin pie. You just know there's a difference.
There's a difference, and I can't believe anybody on this world would do that.
It's cruel.
It's cruel and unusual, and I think you deserve jail time if you do that.
I do. I think so.
That's just my opinion. But cool, yeah. So nuts, seeds, I like them all. Favorite though, I'm saying pistachios and sunflower seeds. I just love all sunflower seeds, so I can't believe I brought that up because now I want some sunflower seeds. Well, right now you're not supposed to have sunflower seeds.
Really?
Because it's all spit. You spit everything out.
Okay.
And that's like COVID. It's unhealthy. So at like softball, baseball games, there's like signs everywhere. No sunflower seeds.
Oh, that's insane.
No spitting.
I can't imagine going to a softball game or a baseball game and not having sunflower seeds.
No, it's
like
brutal.
Unessential.
Yeah. I don't know who enforces that. Who's like the seed patrol, but there's somebody out there.
They walk around and they're like, hey,
there's somebody out there
mine.
Who signed up for that job, and they're trying to do it at perfection, and it's ridiculous. But
they come by and they take your bottle away, and they're like, hey, this is you can't do this here.
Exactly, yeah. But they have like a 6-foot pole because they don't want.
Yeah.
It's like those grabber. He's just like trying to, and you're just, what are you doing?
You're like, sir, get out of here.
Well, I think it's about time. Well, actually, maybe we'll talk about what is coming, what's up in the future.
Perfect.
So this is episode 10. We've talked about this idea of the workshop and what it's like, and we've brought tools to the workshop that we're keeping it in, and today's tool is cool because it's really relevant to my life right now. But before that, talking about where are we going from here. And so kind of the idea, what we want to do is we might put out episodes of the workshop, but as far as like a regular series of the workshop, we're done.
Yeah.
We're going to kind of push out different content, some fun content, some serious content. We're going to bring people in on video, and we're just going to kind of branch out and see what kind of works. One of our ideas is, I think we talked about it before, it's like a nerdy podcast where we just talk to each other about video games, movies, TV shows, and stuff in that realm. But also we want to do something like just bringing in guests and explaining, or having them explain maybe their life story, or having them talk about, what they're good at.
Yeah, stuff they're passionate about, stuff they're fun about. And also, for those who got to hear the audio, a sports one where we just talk about, we're both Oklahoma State fans, go Pokes, and so not just necessarily Oklahoma State, but going through and talking about the sports, like the different sports that are going on. We both love sports.
And we're no analysts, so it's not like we don't know everything, but like as just like an average enjoyer,
average fan
consumer of sports, we just talk, like the finals just happened, so stuff like that. And the World Series is coming up, so maybe we'll talk about.
Hopefully, Astros pull it out. Game
Astros
6,
Braves. How cool would that be? Braves isn't my team, but it's like my family's team. So like I like Braves. I mean, the Braves are looking good. I think they're up in the series.
Tampa Bay was 3-0 on the Astros. And if we come back 3-3 on the best team in the AL, in my opinion, I think that's a win right there.
Maybe if both teams go to the World Series, we'll go sneak in and we'll like live stream the whole thing.
Yeah.
And for free for our big fans. We have a lot of them.
We can't do that, but maybe.
I'll let you do it though.
Yeah.
For the content. Do it for the content, man. Come on. Do it for the content. No, but yeah, so sports, I mean, we just really want to branch out and bring some different people in, possibly, and just leverage technology, right, to put out content. We want to continue like the learning aspect, so every podcast will have some sort of learning aspect in it, and then keep doing like some just fun, enjoyable stuff. Because I know podcasts, especially our generation, like podcasting is kind of like how people consume content.
Yeah.
And so we want to be inclusive in that and maybe like do some niche content that maybe other people aren't doing. And I know there are people who are doing they do sports podcasts. There's people who do those geeky, nerdy podcasts. But we want to like find our niche and find, places that we can just put out stuff that people enjoy.
And like we say, like we want to do from a different perspective. Like we want to have the biggest positivity mindset, and just kind of bring a good light to wherever we're at, wherever we bring. And like, at the end of the day, we're doing this for us, and like we want to have fun doing stuff like this. And so like we have fun talking and doing leadership stuff. We have fun bringing like what we're good at, what we're interested in. But, and we want to keep having fun doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and so like I could sit here, we could just talk back and forth, and I'm like, why don't we see if we can make some financial gain off of it? Not that that's what we're doing, but like that's kind of the reason that we're doing it. Because we just sit and talk. Like 2 nights ago, we just sat and talked in Discord for like 30 minutes about leadership principles and approaching people and like confrontation, stuff like that. And so why not record that and then just send it out? So that's kind of like our heart, and that'll kind of explain why we want to do all this stuff. But I guess we should get back to the workshop. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
So you kind of brought the idea of what this tool we should bring in, and I love it. And I'll kind of talk about the tool itself, and then you can jump in and talk about maybe why we want to bring the tool in. But the tool we're going to bring is the level, and really there's tons of sizes of levels. You got one that may be a foot long, and then all the way to like a yard and longer. And the idea is we want to get whether it's beams or walls, floors, we want to level them out. And then there's different types of levels. Lasers, they brought lasers into the leveling game. And the biggest thing to do is you want to level it out and make sure things are in the right spot. They're balanced. That's kind of the word of the day, is that balance. And so we really want to bring this in because every great leader understands balance. And you can tell they do because the way that they live their life. When you have balance, then comes discipline, and that discipline can be multiplied by how you balance. I mean, I've seen plenty of leaders who are yes men. They say yes to everything, or the phrase "too many eggs in one basket" type thing. Those kind of leaders who don't understand balance in their lives, and we'll kind of jump in. So I'll kind of let you start, and then we'll just kind of we'll keep talking about balance.
When we were thinking about this idea of this tool, I was thinking about balance, and especially in our day and age right now, 2020, like there is so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's October. I know for you, and there's like work, there's family life, there's church, there's cool exciting things that you're doing right now with streaming. There's like all these different things, and it's like, man, I feel like that's like a day-to-day struggle. It's like, how do you manage all of these things and still have a productive life?
Yeah.
Because I know I've been in seasons where, and if you guys listen to episode 9, you've heard seasons where I've had just a ton of stuff going on,
right? And
my plate got full and it broke. And so in those moments, like, how do you keep it from breaking, and how do you find that balance?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, Matt kind of talked about it, and I'll share a little bit. My mind goes 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like I'm constantly thinking about stuff. My inner dialogue and I are having a conversation now as words are coming out of my mouth about what I'm going to do in 2 hours. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, I am one of those people who I'm chasing stuff to do, because if I don't, I sink, and so that's just kind of like, for me, balance is tackling on a lot of different things. And then I'm practicing the idea of balancing. And so right now, so I work, from 8 to 5, or I should be working from 8 to 5. I like to play video games, and I've recently started streaming and then getting involved with a team of streamers with the church that we go to. So I've started doing that, which is a couple hours a night. And also I'm working. I have a fiance that we're planning a wedding. I have this. I have the blog. I'm sitting on a board of alumni for my fraternity, and and pretty soon I'll be mentoring a guy from that fraternity and mentoring a student at church. And so I will evaluate what I need basically day to day, and that's balance for me. I know there's some people who are way busier than I am who plan months in advance. That's really not me. And so when I'm understanding balance and I also like to sleep, so I can't forget that.
Oh yeah.
I like to sleep as well. And so like balance for me is like understanding, what matters most right now. And some days it's dropping everything and going with Jamie and just sitting for 20-30 minutes and we're just watching TV in silence just so that we get that quality time. Other days, like the last couple of days, it's me playing Minecraft for 8 hours a day, finishing, like setting up this world that I'll push out to some students. But, that's just what balance is for me. It's never been the same day to day, but it's understanding what I need most right now. And prioritizing, I guess, is the word. Like, what is priority right now? Because I would say I'm really good at balancing, but just because I'm understanding and taking it really hour by hour, but sometimes day by day.
Yeah.
But yeah, just prioritizing what I need the most and being a little bit selfish is kind of how I see balance work in my life.
Oh yeah, and I definitely think that. You hit it at the very end. Something I was thinking about is just priorities. It's my coach used to say, "What's important to you, you'll do."
Yeah.
So like when it comes to balance, and I think this applies to everything.
Yeah.
Whatever is important to you in your life, that's what you're gonna do. That's what, and for you, it sounds like it's a day-to-day thing. It's like, all right, so today, what is important right now?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's great advice going into the future and thinking about what, like, having all those things. You have so much going on, and like God's giving you so many cool things cool opportunities, and so like I definitely think that is so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to like my life, like, I may not have as much going on, but it's like still finding that balance between, all right, what is again a priority right now versus like what. So like, I'm not working, but I still have time to spend with my family. I still have church. I still have different life groups that I go to, different communities that I spend time with, different students that I hang out. I'm in two different ministries. One that's young adults, the other one that's kindergartners, and then another one that's leaders. So there's three real roles that like I'm in within the church, and it's like, how do I balance those different things? And again, it's just priorities. Like you can't. I personally, I can't imagine planning so far in the head. I know you got a wedding and like that stuff that like needs to take priority in that instance, but at the same time, it's like, man, if you focus on what's today. I get all the time people ask me, so what's your week look like? And I'm like, I don't know what my week looks like. I know what today looks like, and that's it. So I wake up, and that's when I start planning today. And it drives people crazy. And it used to drive me crazy. I used to be, okay, I have to have this going on. I'm going to be here to here, and then here to here for this long. And then, and I remember just getting so full of anxiety, so full of fear. I'm like, man, if I'm just this late, I'm going to miss up everything. Sure. And what I had learned is that my time is important, but like at the end of the day, it's not about my time. It's about, I would say God's time. Like God's time is way more important than my time, and He's going to make it happen no matter what. Right. So like, it's not up to me. It's going to be up to, how it's going to happen. And so I just say, like, if you guys are struggling with this whole balance thing, take it one day at a time. Take it one step at a time. Again, we don't know what's going to happen, so just take it one step at a time. Yeah. No, that's good. And I think, like, balancing, and you can go a bunch of different directions. We're talking about balancing time, but there's also, balancing a budget, balancing a relationship, really. And balancing a relationship, I think, to me, looks like, where are boundaries at, make sure we're not crossing. If we cross one way, make sure we come back the other, twice or the same, whatever it looks like. And I think balance is hard because it's really a self-evaluation thing, but it's also important if you're having friends that you're noticing who aren't reaching that balance and who look exhausted, being able to
minister to them or just talk to them and say like, hey, how can I help you? Because you look exhausted. What can I do to help you balance? And I've seen in my life people I know just not balance at all and take on all of these different responsibilities. I'm built different. I have this huge capacity, and I critical think, like I think on the fly, and I know that there's a lot of people who don't. And so for me, you know, I see this at church. I've seen these leaders who just, they cannot handle so much responsibility, and I'm craving more responsibility, you know, and that's because the balance there for me is when I walk in those doors, there's nothing else that matters in the world. And so I'm ready to accumulate responsibility or relational capacity is what I call. And that's just, it's the measurement of how well you know somebody or how good the relationship is. I'm like craving that. And there's other people who walk in those doors and they're terrified. They don't know what they're going to eat the next day. They don't know if they're going to get let go from their job. And that's just how I think. And so that's also what helps me balance. And so I think that's also an issue for, it could be an issue for people, is understanding where you're at and understanding, or leave the junk at the door is kind of a saying that a lot of people say, or, you know, leave your worst self at the door, whatever it looks like. And to me, that helps balancing. You know, when I'm at work, at least when I'm working, I make sure I'm doing that the highest level so that I can then do other things. It's like in elementary school, I remember when computers were in the classroom and we could play games. I was rushing to finish my homework so that I can hop on that computer. And for me, that's what balance looks like for me. I'm trying to finish this task, close it up so I can move on to the next task. And I think that's just what works for me, and it's just really self-evaluation. I think it's just important on that.
I think spending those times working, and what you said about leaving the baggage at the door. That's something my coach would always hammer into us. That, like, when you're on the field, you're on the field. Your mind is on football. And so right before every single day, we'd have to put our helmets on because you're locked in when your helmets are on. So that's a symbol for us that, hey, like, you're ready to go. You're clipped up, you're ready to go, and we'd run on the field because, hey, that's like go time. No matter what had happened, it was an ability to just walk into that door and say, hey, this is it. This is football. I don't have to worry about school. I don't have to worry about relationships. I don't have to worry about work. I have to worry about football. And that's it.
Go hit that guy. That's what you're worried about.
And then on top of that, he would talk about it's the next play. It's always about that next play. You don't worry about what happened the play before. You don't worry about anything like that, or plays before, the series before, the drive before. You worry about that next play. So whatever's going to happen, that next play you worry about. So shout out to my coaches because they've really taught me a lot, just not just about football, but about life. And I think that is a good start on just the level and how to balance things within both our worlds today, and both balancing relationships and like we said, you could do a lot of different things when it comes to using this tool.
Really. I mean, balancing your diet, you know, there's just a lot of that, and it's all like kind of self-evaluation. It's one of those cool tools that you can use it on yourself, really. And it's one of those tools that if you're using it on other people, you're using it incorrectly. You know what I mean? And we brought some tools that are not like that. They're the opposite. You use on other people, not yourself. It's one of those, if you're using it on other people, you're using it wrong.
And literally, like, if you're using it, like, you're using it to evaluate what you've done in this area, how level the floors are, how level, you know, like, everything is. It's like how, like, that's literally, like, it's not supposed to be, like, hey, how does this do someone else? Or, like, how can I use this to, like, screw in like a screw or whatever, you know? It's like, hey, it's all about, again, like you said, just evaluating. I think that's a really great point.
And so I want to jump into that crazy theory segment we do. It's not necessarily theory, it's just something I saw on social media and I want to share it. But I don't want you guys to forget, we got BAMBOOZLED coming up, and this is the longest, most, like, deep BAMBOOZLED segment we've ever done. And that's coming up right after this crazy theory. And again, it's not really a theory, but I want to tell you about it, and I want you to let me know kind of like if you're kind of feeling the same thing. So basically, what happened is I was scrolling social media. I'd woken up early one morning, and I was getting ready for work, and getting ready for work means just hopping out of bed and getting on the computer. But I'd open up the computer, I was logging on, and right here. I was logging on, and I saw something on Twitter that really just like hurt me. And it's a political statement, and it was these billboards of Donald Trump and words of Jesus, and it was saying, one was like, I'll let all of my children in or whatever, and Donald Trump was like, build a wall. It was like stuff like that. Yeah. And there was 5 or 6 of these billboards, and I just looked at those, and it hurt, okay? Because imagine if someone plastered my face up there against Jesus' words and stuff I had said. And I ended up, commenting on or reposting a tweet and saying, this is propaganda. This is not biblical truth. Because what it was preaching to me, what I saw this tweet as saying is, look how terrible this guy is. Look what he's saying, and look what Jesus is saying. But Donald Trump is not Jesus. I don't even know if Donald Trump is a Christian, but he's someone right now in this world that's probably one of the most hated people in the world. Yeah. Being hated by people who are called to be the most loving people in the world. And that's what really hurt me, because one of my biggest pet peeves, pardon my stutter, one of my biggest pet peeves is the holier than thou Christians. Yeah. Because I've been a Christian my whole life. And there's been times in my life where I probably have had that philosophy of I'm better than you because I'm a Christian. I actually told a girl, I broke up with a girl with the statement of, I'm more Christian than you. And I feel terrible about it. But, and that's what I meant. Should I have said it? No, but I was being serious, you know. But there's some people out there who, misquote the Bible and kind of use it as, it is the sword of the Spirit, but uses it as a sword to shove it in people's sides, even their friends. And so, my thing right now, my theory is, what if we posted, like I said, what if we put your face on a billboard next to Jesus? Would you be saying the same things as Jesus? Would you be saying the opposite things like this billboard was presenting? Yeah. Why would you even compare a human on earth right now to Jesus, plastered all over the world? I mean, it's just unnerving to me that that's kind of where we're at and what we're going to. But also, I really want people to understand the seriousness of plastering someone's face and the words they say on a billboard, because at the end of our lives, and what I believe is that every single one of us, that's going to happen to every single one of us when we get to heaven. That's how we're going to get judged to get into heaven. Yeah. We're going to plaster some crap that we did in our lives and say, and hopefully at the end, you just say, sorry, for I never knew you, know. But that it's going to happen. And so I would just urge people to understand the level of what is happening and how far we've come. I know it's a political figure and he's very polarizing. Yeah. Just imagine if that was you and we put your words up there, or somebody in your family's words up there. Yeah. And maybe misquote them, but for the entire world to see, it's really haunting that's kind of where we're at right now.
I think just hearing what you're saying, I don't want to, we're not trying to say oh, Trump's the best, Trump and he's the greatest man, and
he's done some junk, but so
we're not saying that I mean, I didn't see the billboard, so I can't speak just directly from biblical truths, but I mean, Jesus was perfect. Right. And what I can say about that is that he was a man, the perfect man on earth.
Yeah, yeah.
And that nobody will be like Jesus. We all fall short of the glory of God. Romans 3:23, and that we all have this attainable goal that we want to be Christ-like, that we want to be similar to Jesus, and so our words, actions, and deeds should all be reflective of our love for Jesus. And I think that comes. Jesus says that they will know that you love me by the way you love others.
Sure.
And,
yeah.
Something I've heard a lot recently is just loving people enough to care about them. Yeah. And I think that all of this stems down to, again, this word love and how we define this word love. that is the central message of Jesus.
Right.
How to love people.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just take it a step further. This topic that we were talking about earlier is that it's all about relationships.
Yeah.
The central theme of the Bible is relationships. That
Right.
the main character is Jesus throughout the entire thing, and how Jesus is going to be beginning, middle, and end,
Mm-hmm.
and how he wants to have that relationship with us so that we can have a relationship with God. And so, like,
Right.
not to get too, preachy or thing, but like, when it comes down to the message of Jesus, it's the message of love. It's the message of how God has come to love us.
Right.
And that it's not about Karen. It's not about the American church that you see plastered all over. It's not about these misinterpreted Bible scriptures. And it's about how Jesus loves us. And how God loves us so much that he sent his son to die for us so that we can have an eternal life through him. And I think that if you're quoting things, if you're doing anything by hate, that's not the message of Jesus.
Yeah.
If anything is about hate or about hurt, about pain, anything that's like that, that's not the message of Jesus. That's not what Jesus wanted. That's not, and you'll see it all the time. While I call them Pharisaical Christians because that's exactly what the Pharisees were like. In the time of Jesus, these people who saw Jesus, saw what Jesus was doing and how he's loving and caring for people.
Right.
And they just tore him down. They quoted scripture, the Old Testament, at him.
Yeah.
Trying to say that, hey, this was it. And Jesus came back in with the same scripture, with different scriptures that really pointed to how Jesus was perfect and that Jesus was the Son of God and that his message was about how to build relationships. And so, and I think that Jesus talks about it too, how you first love your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and then the next greatest commandment is to love your neighbor as yourself. And so when asked who his neighbor was, he says basically everybody.
Right.
Everybody you see is your neighbor. And so he goes on to tell a parable, but basically that's the story is that Jesus says that Jesus, and we talked about it on Wednesday, it's not about dividing lines. It's not about building walls. It's about, crossing over and bringing people closer and bringing people back to your side. And so, again, I didn't see this tweet. I didn't see what's going on. I'm not saying that Donald Trump is Jesus, but what I am saying is that we should love him and that we should care about him and that I may not agree with him. I may not even like him, but I do love him. I do love him as a person, and that I see people who give him death threats and they give him
it's ridiculous.
I remember when he first got elected, how so many people said that he was going to get assassinated, and I was
it's crazy.
That's insane. He is literally I can't imagine doing that to anybody that person. I know we're outliers and being we can't imagine that. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen, because it does. There's evil in this world that does happen, and so it's crazy, and again, like you said, heartbreaking that anybody would hate this man. I totally understand if you don't like him. If you don't like some of the things he tweets about. I don't like the things he tweets about. I think someone should really get rid of his Twitter. But at the same time, he's a human.
I think we should get everybody over the age of 65 off Twitter. Okay? So let's just, not just Donald Trump, but everybody over the age of 65. I don't even know how they got access to Twitter. How did they know to even get on? How do they know what Twitter is? I don't know.
But no, I agree that not necessarily that, but I agree that somebody should have monitored his stuff. But at the same time, he is
allegedly someone does. Allegedly, he has someone on staff who...
Someone needs to do a better job.
I know, yeah, for sure.
If they are doing it, they need to do it.
I think just that my biggest takeaway is that, you even said that, just to reiterate what you said, someone in this world used a message of love to endorse hate. And it's just, that's irked me, as a, lifetime studier of one of the guys on this billboard. I was just I just couldn't believe this was happening. But dude, it happens all the time. That's just that's kind of what I just want to talk about. Is just you gotta understand, one, Donald Trump is a guy. He's an evil guy. He's greedy. He has all these things. But dude, I'm pretty bad myself.
Yeah.
I just don't get plastered on a billboard. I haven't run for president of the United States yet.
I think it's because I think it's because he is in this seat of office that people think, oh, like his leadership, like, oh, he's the leader, so like all the problems then fall down to him.
Yeah.
And I think we talk about it too with like head coaches, like you know.
We talk about this every single football game.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like the head coach, yes, is the billboard leader, but at the same time, he's not the one making all the decisions. He's not the one playing the game. He's not the one coming up with the game plan. He's not the one that is calling out the plays. Like, you know, and a lot of people think, oh, it's the head coach doing all this. It's not. It's not. For anybody who knows anything about sports, you know, the head coach is leading coaches.
Yeah, that's what he does.
His job is to put the right people in the right position. And that, yes, at the end of the day, he makes all the decisions, but he is going to be the one that takes the hate. And a good leader should have if they were just taken out of the position, that their team would run exactly right without them. And so like when it comes to Donald Trump, like I think that a lot of times he gets blamed because he's the president, because you know, and that's really it. Oh, the world is falling apart and it's his fault, because people love to hate, which is another topic that we can talk about later. But like people love to hate. And they group up. It's the mob mentality of like as soon as somebody hates anybody, it goes on. Look at Nickelback.
That's true.
Nickelback, if you really listen to their songs, their music, it could be just subjective on my opinion. I think Nickelback has some really good songs.
Yeah.
I think they have really good music and they have really good lyrics within their songs. How You Remind Me, I think Rockstar is really good. I even like Photograph, which is the most common one that I hear people hate about.
Look at this photograph.
Yeah, see that.
I'm not gonna sing that. I shouldn't sing it. But yeah, no, I mean, the entire world started hating him.
People latched on to this idea. I don't know how it started, but
I'm not sure either.
They'll latch onto these ideas that they love to hate, and as soon as they find something to hate, boom, right on it.
They're on it, and that's the mob. That's
the mob.
Like the phrase comes from like when they were burning witches.
Yeah.
She's a witch. Burn her.
Yeah.
That's from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
It is. Yeah. What a great movie.
But such a great movie. But man, I know it wasn't a theory, nor was it crazy. It was crazy, but you know, there's just kind of something I wanted to talk about, and like it was stuck in my head, so I needed to get it out. But man, I think we go to my favorite part of the podcast, some Bamboozled. What do you think?
Let's get Bamboozled.
So I think Bamboozled is a segment where I find some crazy questions on the internet, and I just ask Matt to answer them.
And I think of the most answer.
None of the answers are supposed to have, none of the questions are supposed to have an answer. But Matt tries to come up with an answer. So the first one is, do prison buses have emergency exits?
I would say, again, logically, yes. They would have to have an emergency exit. However, because they are police buses, and because they're like busing
he says.
Prisoner, I couldn't think of the word.
Inmates.
Inmates, yes, that's what I was thinking of. Inmates. So since they're busing them, the inmates, they would have to. They're still locked up underneath like everything. They're still chained up. So I think the harm of not having an emergency, like they'd have to have one just in case. It would be a tough thing.
Well, they're all like chained up in the bus too. So honestly, if the bus goes in the water, you could probably assume all the prisoners are gonna die, because no cop is gonna try to get under there and get everybody out, unlike every single person.
Unless this cop just has a
actually,
heart
this is
of
a good ethics question. Okay, I'm gonna write this down for later when I teach ethics at college at Oklahoma State. When I start teaching ethics at Oklahoma State. All right, I think they do too. I think they have to, but I think it would be weird. But anyways, second question: can you stand backwards on a flight of stairs?
Stand backwards on a flight of stairs. Yeah, I think so.
How?
You would just. This is tough.
Think about it. So if you're facing this way and the stairs go up this way, you're going forward.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you turn around,
you're going back.
You're going down.
I would, that's because you're standing. So Well, I mean, I think you can still stand on it. It doesn't matter the direction that you're going, because the direction just talks about like which way you're moving, and if you're standing still, which means that you're a point. So it'd be the same as like a line on a graph that like one has a vector that goes one way and the other goes, and then instead you're the point that is standing on the graph. So you would be standing on the flight of stairs. However, you would. I think a better question would be: are you standing forward or backwards?
Yeah,
because you don't really know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting question. All right, this one. Do you think they bury people with braces still on, or do they just remove them?
I think it'd be a waste to have the braces on, but I also think that it'd be really weird to take the braces off when it comes to. Like,
that's true. So what do you think? What do you think?
So I would think, I would say that they'd take it off, just because there's probably people that would like just do that, and I'm thinking of like. I don't know. This was tough too, because there's no point in having them on. There's also no point in getting rid of them either.
Exactly. So which one is it, Matt?
I would say they have to get rid of it.
Okay.
But then my argument for getting rid of them doesn't fit anymore. But that's that.
So you're just saying it's just like, yeah, they gotta get rid of them.
They gotta get rid of them.
Okay. Yeah. Well, here's the next question: why do we cook bacon but bake cookies?
Cook bacon but bake cookies. No, I think that's just a clever play on words. Because of,
we've had this one, a similar question like this.
I think it's a clever play on words. You cook bacon, but bacon is not spelled like bacon. Like
it's not. It's not like bake in. It's so back on. Back on.
Yeah. So I think that the name of it is just different.
Yeah.
And then cookies, again. That yes, you're cook, and I don't know etymology of like words and where they come from.
Yeah, why did they call it cookies?
Yeah,
why would, I don't know either.
Because I'm pretty sure, the English, like from the UK, call them biscuits.
Yeah, that's
cookies,
true.
Biscuits, and so I think that in American English we call them cookies because we cook them in the oven.
A little bit dumber. Let's just be real.
Let's be real. Yeah.
Americans are just a little bit dumber.
And we call it. We're like cookies because they're the little things that you cook in the oven.
Yeah.
And then someone was like, yeah, but that actually means bake.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, yeah.
And when you cook meat almost to the point of burning, we called it barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're real smart people.
Yeah.
So barbecue.
Shout out to us Americans.
All right. This next question, I need you to listen to because the words are going to trip you up. And it might trip me up reading it. But I need you to listen. Okay.
Perfect.
If you had a dream that none of your dreams would come true, and you woke up and had none of your real life dreams come true, would that be a dream that came true?
So if you had a dream about your dreams not coming true, and then you woke up and none of your dreams came true, would that dream have come true?
Yeah.
Again, I think it just depends on your definition of dream. Because like dream is in like goals, aspirations, and stuff like that, then like no. But if you're talking about just like you went to bed and you dreamt that like none of your dreams come true, so I think that the next dream is about your goals and aspirations coming true, and so none of those came true. So then therefore, a dream about none of your things coming true would just be like none of my.
This dream came true.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I had a dream last night that I was a truck mechanic for semi-trucks that were race cars.
Okay.
And I couldn't fix anything.
Yeah.
But everyone thought I could. And so I would just clink, 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 and then be like, she's good to go. And they'd go start racing. And that was my entire dream. But I woke up and that did not come true. But then again, I didn't dream that was my dream, that dream would come true.
Cool. Yeah.
So it's just interesting. That was an interesting question,
Again,
I thought.
the English language likes to trick us up.
So this is another tricky question. I need you to listen to the words that I'm about to read. If you told someone to be a leader and not a follower, wouldn't they become a follower by following your advice?
So you told them to become a leader, not a follower. And so
you know the phrase, be a leader, not a follower. But aren't they becoming a follower by following your advice?
So this is, to me, another question, or not a question, but just like a leadership statement. I think being a leader means that you have to follow. So like Jesus talks about it in the Gospels that the first must be last, and so that like to lead effectively, I think you have to lead from the back, and you lead in a way that grows people, pushes people, and so I think that that's great advice.
I think it's great advice too. I would say though.
Yeah, she'd be a follower.
That you would be a follower to the end. So I was just trying to answer my question. Okay. If everyone says that life is unfair, doesn't that mean that life is fair?
For everyone? Yeah.
So
life is fair by making it unfair for everyone.
Yeah. So good. I'm glad that's kind of how I wanted you to answer the last question, but I do appreciate your answer. So if the early bird gets the worm, why do good things come to those who wait?
That's necessarily putting that good things happen because the bird, it's a good thing because of the worm. But what about the perspective of the worm? If you were the worm and you had waited to come out, then the bird would have missed you.
Yeah.
And so then good things would have happened to you because you waited. So I think that actually fits perfect.
That's like an interesting.
Again, we talk about perspective.
Answer. Yeah. That's an interesting answer that you said. I didn't expect that, but let's go on to the next question.
I think I bamboozled the bamboozler.
I don't know if I'm bamboozled. More of I think I'm dumbfounded, but it's okay. It's synonymous, sure. If you hate haters, does that make you a hater and make you hate yourself?
Yeah, that's a nice easy one. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
You hate your haters, so
yeah,
you would be a hater.
That's it. That's all I've got. And that's gonna wrap up this episode and wrap up the workshop series.
Yeah.
You know, we brought things like duct tape, a tape measure, a level, a hammer, instruction manual, how to build a workshop for dummies. We brought all of these
mixing the concrete.
Yeah, mixing the concrete. Yeah, I almost forgot that one. But we brought all these to build this workshop so we could practice and learn and play with these metaphors and really learn to just how to get better. And so that's episode 10. Look for stuff. We're not stopping. We're just getting started here.
Yeah, we're just getting started. So if you guys heard it and you were like, oh, these guys are done, we're not. We're just going to produce more content.
Yeah.
More of things that we enjoy with this as well.
Yeah.
So it may not be called the workshop because our whole idea of this podcast is called the unqualified experience.
Right.
So it's this experience of us being unqualified and talking about things that we're passionate about, that we love. And so I'm really looking forward to all the things coming up. Some of those things, again, we mentioned like a nerdy podcast. Like we both love video games. We both love fictional movies.
Right.
So like those are some of the things that we're probably going to talk about. We might do one of video games and one of movies, or we might do one of both. And so just kind of, again, for those who had heard the audio, stuff like that, where we talk about sports. We both are big fans of sports, and we also, again, want to bring in leadership stuff because we both have a passion for leadership, and so
and I probably won't wear a hat every time because we're videoing, but no, I've been using these 10 podcasts as like practicing. We're working out. We're getting ready to just put our helmets on, right, and jump in. So I think that's gonna wrap it up.
And let us know how the video is. This is the first time we've videoed.
So if you like it, you hate it, let us know. But that's about it.
That's it.
We forgot to introduce ourselves, but I'm Bradley Shufi.
If you made it this far, you probably know.
This is Matt Collins. And that's going to be it. This wraps up episode 10 of our season 1 of the workshop. I hope to see you next time. Let's kick it.
Yeah, let's go.